Okay, so yeah, we're here to talk about the Unified Enclosure Range, which is actually part of the WisBlock family. WisBlock is a RAKwireless modular hardware platform that is basically the functional element of an end device or a node. It's the electronics. So that's just a recap of WisBlock in the shortest way possible. And we're talking about hardware. And in IoT, hardware is the thing. It's the T in Internet of Things. So what is the Unified Enclosure features and benefits? In summary, it's a universal, ready-to-use, industrial-grade enclosure, a family of enclosures that is ready to go out of the box with our WisBlock range of hardware, but you can use it with any hardware you wish to use. Now, one of the key features that this enclosure range has that I'll come to later, but is shown here, in summary, is this enclosure features modular mounting accessories. Those accessories are created so the end user, the customer or integrator or whoever can choose to allow them to install their thing, their end device, their node into the real world with ease, without any problems. So that's the summary I have to give with the enclosure range in the context of IoT. So basically, to recap on that, we have WisBlock or any other hardware, and the user wishes to get the end device in their hands. That's the finished product. So usually IoT developers, hardware businesses or developing hardware, and they need to get to the end. Enclosures are usually very difficult to design and develop, very costly and expensive. Or enclosures that are already on the market are a bit limited in their features or have some other challenges that I can come to later. So basically, we have hardware plus the enclosure equals your finished product. And to recap again, that can be WisBlock plus the unified enclosure or any hardware and unified enclosure. So to compare in more detail to any competing enclosures or the enclosures that many hardware developers usually have to use, from these photos, you can hopefully see that on the right-hand side, an example of a standard enclosure, usually not very attractive, very simple, and they have kind of what is called a flange. And this is it, this is all you get. And to deploy that is very difficult in many use cases. You have to invent your own solution for deploying that product. This one, maybe if you can screw it to a wall, that's great, but maybe you have to pole mount it, or you have to mount it to a metal panel, or you need to hang it onto something. It's very challenging for people. So the unified enclosure range is different because we have a very attractive enclosure with many features that we come to again later, but the fundamental is the modular mounting accessories, which the customer can choose, and they can choose at any time, and they can change at any time. So if you can see the illustration on the left, we show you the enclosure, the unified enclosure. This is the back of the enclosure, and the items highlighted in orange are an example of one of the mounting accessories. In this instance, it's the pole mount, and you can see here that the screws they attach the accessories to the enclosure to make a really nice finished product that looks and feels like a real professional device, like that customer made it themselves. On the right-hand side is very different. These enclosures are very generic, not very attractive, and not many people are very proud to have those. So if I was to zoom in to the accessories, this is the kind of concept. Hopefully it's clear. Modular mounting accessories, they're attached to the back of the enclosure. The key feature, there are many in the range, covering pole mount, DIN rail mount, magnet mount, wall mount, and everything in between. So again, we'll come to these in more detail again later, and I'll show them on the video. The product range, the enclosure range, is available in 3 sizes. We have, if I just talk about the long edge of the product, it's 100 millimeters, 150, or 180. Again, I'll show them on the video later. So there are 3 convenient sizes, very, very useful for many customers, many users, many use cases. The very small enclosure, very common for end devices like simple sensors. The medium size is becoming very popular with people that have many other sophisticated IoT applications and they're developing more complex hardware. And the very large enclosure, again, is more of an extension of the medium size. The enclosures are available in 2 colors. We have this, what we call the cool gray, and we have a pure white. So you can choose the color based upon your use case. Now, when customers buy these enclosures and they wish to use WisBlock as their hardware platform, they have a really cool feature that they can benefit from. And it's something that's been shown in some of these images, these strange things in the background. They are mounting plates. And you can see one mounting plate on the right-hand side. It's a panel, a grey panel. The other side has many holes in. So these are the mounting plates that would be hosted inside the enclosure, and they host the electronic hardware. The version on the left with the holes in, that is ready for WisBlock. And the one on the right is just a blank version, and customers can do anything they want with that. So if I focus on that again in a bit more detail, I will look at the mounting plates that host WisBlock natively. You can see in the images on the right hand side that we have this WisBlock assembly, and you can screw to the mounting plate. What is quite cool here is you can see these kind of pliers, these cutters, and this maybe helps you understand why there's holes in these mounting plates. This is because WisBlock is modular, and there's different modules that click into what are called baseboards, and sometimes they collide with this mounting plate. So a customer will cut out the section that they don't need. There will be a problem for that WisBlock assembly. So we have a single mounting plate that can work with any WisBlock configuration possible. That's a really cool solution. So if I look at my video, this is the only tool really that a customer needs if they want to do something really easy, just cut out the bit they don't need. But we come to that again soon in another video on this presentation. So here's to summarize the mounting plates in a bit more detail. So there are 3 sizes because they match the 3 sizes of enclosure. They are annotated here at the bottom in the size ranges. I just draw a line here to make that more clear. The blank mounting plates, just to clarify, they offer customers to do anything they want with. They can drill holes, they can glue things, whatever they want to do with that. Or they don't have to use any mounting plate. If they develop their own hardware, they can copy the shape of that mounting plate, and that could be their electronics, and they could fit that inside the enclosure. So they don't have to use a mounting plate at all. But if they want to use WisBlock and use it very quickly, they can pick these ready-made mounting plates. But one really cool mounting plate we have, which makes things really easy, is where a customer has an IoT node in a wireless device. We have these mounting plates, which are also integrated antennas. So these have a LoRa antenna and a BLE antenna combined. That's a really cool feature there. It makes it really easy to go from your first idea to your first working device very quickly. Let's move on. So another aspect the Unified Enclosure Range has that makes life really easy for customers, it's where they have to assemble the device. Many times customers or users will assemble the product themselves because they are scaling up or they have a low volume, and they make many mistakes with assembly. It's very simple mistakes. They put things in the wrong order, put things upside down, because they're not familiar with mechanical assembly or electronic assembly. So the Unified Enclosure has some built-in documentation. If you look carefully inside, you can see text, numbers, and annotations that are in the plastic themselves. They're not printed, they cannot be removed. So one of those key elements that helps assembly is the mounting accessories have a marking, A, B, C, D, E, etc. And the enclosures, each position where those mounting accessories can be installed, are also marked with a number. So in terms of, let's say, the customer documenting their assembly process, they can say quite simply, fit accessory A to position 1, which is very good. It avoids error and problems, because imagine making 100 or 200 of these, and you said to somebody, okay, fit this accessory to the top. Okay, the top depends which way up you have it. So you can make a mistake. So it makes it really pain-free, and you can be happy that you've made the correct product. So I'm going to shift very quickly to this top-down video. So I'm just going to recap really quickly the enclosures. We have these 3 sizes. This one is the small, this is the medium, and this is the large. And now you can see my hand. I don't know how big my hand is, but this is a kind of credit card size. So you can see with respect to a credit card, the size of the enclosures. The 2 colors, gray and white. Very quickly, the first point was the modular mounting accessories. We have many accessories. All of these, they have these two holes for screwing into the enclosure. The enclosure has these screw holes with threaded inserts. To make sure you fit them correctly, there's these bumps. The bumps are not the same, so you cannot put them in the wrong way. They will only go in one way. This is a pole mount, by the way, so the round pole will go here. And in this instance, the customer would screw those in there, and then they have a nice pole mount. And if they choose differently, they could change them, and they could have a wall mount. This is a screw, so the screw can go through here. Again, you cannot put them in the wrong way. So we have a different number of mounting points for each size on the back. And we also have a label area, so customers can put in their label for their product, the serial numbers. Some of the documentation written inside. We have the product size, we have the screw information, the screws to use. They come included anyway, and we have some dimensions. So you can see the dimensions are written here. This is the center line between the screws. So if you need some critical information, you don't have to go looking for the documentation. It's already built in. The enclosure is also IP67, and this is the seal that is used each in this groove for each enclosure. So that's the enclosures really quickly again to recap. These are the mounting plates. So this is an example of a blank mounting plate, again with its size written on there. I think it's 2 millimeters thick. We have any use case. This is the WisBlock ready, and you can see you cut these small pieces here to remove each section. So for example, I have a WisBlock module assembly here that I want to use, and I cannot assemble it because this post is in the way. So it touches the bottom. So I can cut out this post for this configuration. So that makes that really clean and simple. And if I fitted, let's say I fitted this module on the bottom, then it would continue to be in the conflict with this piece. So then I would cut out all of this, and that makes it super simple. So no need for any complex tools needed there. So, okay, I'm going to move on just to some summary. So when we share this information in the future, we have a lot of documentation to study. We have 3D CAD that can be downloaded for all different sizes of the enclosure, so customers can study. So here's a recap of the enclosure range. We have 3 sizes on the left side here, and some of the details. Again, the reason this is information is here because we will share this presentation so you can study the written specifications. We have the 3 sizes, which are in 2 colors, different mounting plate options, and you can buy them ready like that. We also have a kind of range that sits inside those families, what we call them ready customized. So they include additional features that have already been integrated to those enclosures, and they are basically solar panels at this moment in time, and some have holes in them, and those holes can host connectors and antennas. We also have a further range of enclosures that work with our WisBlock audio hardware, which are also customized, ready for that hardware specifically. There's nothing stopping a customer using those anyway. Just so you can see from the image, you can see that we have some speaker slots here, which work with the audio. Here's an overview of all the mounting accessories that we have in summary and their compatibility. There are a few that are not compatible with certain enclosures. They're intended for different specific sizes. Again, this is here not to study now, but it'll be in the release we share later. This is the same for the mounting plates, again presented and how they're compatible with each enclosure and their use cases. And if I just go through the next slides quickly. So these slides will provide you more information on the specific details of every mounting accessory that is available and how it is used. So we have the pole mount, we have 3 pole mounts, sorry about that, which they can be used in over the 3 sizes of enclosure. Some are limited with compatibility. We have the wall mount. We have what we call a belt clip. We have DIN rail mounting, professional installations within DIN rail applications. We have magnet mount, this is for magnetic applications applying to metal surfaces. We have a belt loop. We have a convenient label. This label allows the user to actually add a visible label. This is very common in DIN rail applications. With DIN rail applications, you would install it into some kind of a cabinet with lots of other hardware. and you might need to identify what this thing is. We have a hook loop, and so moving over to the mounting plates, again, just to summarize these, we have the two standard plastic mounting plates, one for WisBlock one, and we have the two which are integrated antennas. That was for the small enclosure. We have the medium mounting plates. Again, we have one for WisBlock, one for the blank mounting plate. And for the large enclosure, we only have the blank mounting plate. So our customization service basically is kind of a mechanical customization service. We essentially can cut holes or slots or anything which is complex in the enclosure or the mounting plates. So enclosures, that could be holes, slots, grooves, whatever the customer might need. Or for a mounting plate, which is the original question, let's say a customer has their own hardware which is not the shape of that mounting plate, and they have some other shape, but they want to mount it to a mounting plate. We can customize the blank mounting plate to maybe like drill holes for mounting posts, something like that. That's one example. The next slides, this image on the right hand side is it's a CNC machine. It's actually customizing an enclosure for one of our own products. It's cutting out the holes, and I'm going to move on to the next slides. I have some video here to show an example. This is a mounting plate that was customized for a customer. So they had the profile of the blank mounting plate was modified, and kind of maybe you see the purple color. And they also had some mounting custom holes added, so they could screw in a mixture of their own hardware and WisBlock hardware. So that was done for that customer in the context of a mounting plate. If the next slide, this is actually the same customer. They also had the enclosure customized. So we customized the enclosure walls to host connectors, and we also customized the lid to integrate a screen, a display, an e-ink display, and a cover lens, a glass cover lens that also was actually sourced by RAK. This is a simpler one. This is a small enclosure. It's customized to host these connectors and a slot for USB-C access with a silicon cover, which RAK also can provide. In this instance, actually, the customer did their own hardware with the same shape as the mounting plate. Just going back to the video. So this is a customized enclosure because it has these holes. So again, hopefully everybody can see this. It's in focus. We have this hex cutout, which can accept the connector body. It's the same here. And you can see it's complex. It's not just a round hole. It has a complex shape. So when the connector is fitted, it's very smooth and professional and clean. I'm going to try and get that connector for you now. Bear with me. Yeah, there we go. So there is the SMA connector with its cover on. That would go in there, and it fits nice and smoothly in the enclosure wall. So very professional. Usually people just drill a hole and the connector would sit outside like that, and doesn't look so professional. So that's the real pro way. So I want to take off that protective cover. So I hope that's clear for that. The way that process works is you would work with the RAK team. We can design the customizations for customers. We do that using our 3D CAD software. We can engineer that in collaboration with the customer or channel partners, or the customer can download the 3D data themselves if they have the skills in-house, and they can design the customization what they need. And we will always verify that to make sure that can be manufactured. So where a customer doesn't want to use our customization service, maybe because of speed or cost or some other reason, we have opportunities where customers can do their own thing, or maybe their customization is very, very simple. They just want to drill holes and they're happy with that. This is where we can help them further, or they can help themselves. And in this example, we have a use case where we have designed drilling jigs for these blue pieces in this image, and they're 3D printed. Many customers actually have access to 3D printing even in-house, and these provide a very accurate location where a customer can drill the hole that they need to access the hardware that they need. And you can see in the picture here, these blue parts, they have their little hole reference. This is for a pilot hole, a small hole, and they can continue to drill that larger and larger. But as it's 3D printed, it also hosts the mounting position. So you would screw that into the enclosure so you know it's in the correct position, and you can drill a hole with confidence. and that lets the customer do their own customization without any issues. That basically covers the product range. It's quite simple, straightforward. A lot of the detail is in these slides. The last thing that I can finish on, but we have some use case examples here. I've picked up a few examples from customers around the world. So you can see some photos here. We have a mixture of customers using some standard enclosures, some ready customized enclosures. In this many examples here with solar panels, you can see some customers have used the standard mounting plate, some have used the WisBlock mounting plate, and some customers have additional 3D printed elements to do their own thing. So for example, this light grey element here is a 3D printed battery holder. So this customer had this blue battery pack and they screwed it into the mounting plate. This customer here, this orange piece, is they 3D printed their own mounting plate, which is also the same here. This customer wanted to rotate how they mounted their hardware. So we have many success stories, many customers using the Unified Enclosure at scale, both customized or not. Some customers need our help with customization. Some customers very capable of doing it themselves. So next one is some ready-made products. So actually, RAK uses this enclosure range for some of our own products. Here's two examples. We have our field tester, which is this product with this display built in, touchscreen. So you can buy ready-made finished product using the Unified Enclosure. We have another node here, Link One, one of the devices we have is ready-made from the enclosure, both using a small enclosure. And our latest addition to the product range is the WisGate Soho Pro, which is actually using the large Unified Enclosure. And that's really cool because deploying gateways, this gateway in particular, small form factor for high density deployments, sometimes customers, users will need to deploy in very strange or difficult locations. So that's why the enclosure was picked, because of the mounting accessories will make that really easy for deployment. Yeah, that basically concludes that introduction to the Unified Enclosure.